Hey everybody, welcome to Aniki, the podcast about anime with two brothers. I'm Ben.
And I'm a soul-eating monster that lives in darkness.
That's always been true.
I mean, yeah.
Truer words have never been spoken. So what have you been up to this week?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. So the only thing I did this week is I finished the first season of that Youjo Senki show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I only had 4 episodes left, so I just finished it off.
And, did it leave a decent taste in your mouth, or were you like, no, thank you?
Pretty good, actually. I ended up
nice.
rating it about an 8.
That's good.
It did a good turn there at the end. And unfortunately, now it means that there's another season to come that hasn't happened and probably won't because I think they're caught up with the manga because the manga's only a couple years old.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So, who knows? It's a good setup, though.
Oh, yeah, that's always nice.
It's more realistic as far as how war plays out than most shows. It's not like graphic.
You say that, and yet there's like a witch and magic.
There is that, but I'm talking about like tactics and politics.
Oh, well, that's nice then.
It's not like, oh, everybody just wins forever because they're the heroes.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that actually does not happen. So that's good. Like I said, it still plays around with if they're terrible on the inside, but they get stuff done and everybody's happy, are they still a good person?
Yeah.
Question marks. I don't know the answer. Yeah, it's probably worth a watch.
That's good.
Yep.
Should probably do that at some point when I have time.
Yeah, that's been my thing. Finding time. It's like between Overwatch and all these other projects and watching Mushi-shis.
Mushi-shi is good.
It is good. Wife
relaxing.
Started watching the old school Tsukihime.
Oh.
Like from way back when.
You mean that show that doesn't exist?
Yes. Well, I kept trying to get her to actually play the game, and she kept starting it and then stopping it and then starting it and then stopping it and then starting it and then stopping it.
I think I have it somewhere.
Well, it was one of Nasu's first games, and
yeah,
it wasn't the best in explaining itself. So it's not nearly as polished as Fate, which is saying something, because Fate's not polished either.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I watched that anime for the first time, I thought it was amazing, but I was also young and stupid and needed the entertainment.
Yeah.
I think it was the first one that gave me a good gut punch.
Well, that's good. All I know is that I started on Squid Kids.
Squid Kids? You mean the
Splatoon 2.
Splatoons?
Yeah, yep. Splatoon 2.
How is
I
it?
got that today. I mean, it's really good. It's very interesting, very different.
Different from the
it's
first
like
one.
Shooting people. Well, because like shooting people is like secondary. It's not like your goal or anything.
Was it ever? I thought it was just paint the whole room a color.
Well, I mean, it is. But I mean, it's still considered a shooter.
I see.
It's one where the shooting is definitely secondary.
Interesting.
It would be a very interesting game to play with actual like team tactics and stuff, just because it's a small team, just of 4. So it'd be interesting to play it where you could actually like talk to everybody and plan instead of just
running
playing,
around.
8 to 12-year-olds.
Have you seen?
No one can talk to each other, which is good, honestly, but still.
Have you seen Dunkey's video on Splatoon 2 yet?
Dunkey?
Yeah.
No, I've not.
You've not.
I mean, the latest set of Pokemon cards came out. I got a whole bunch of those.
And how many are there?
I don't know, like 100 and some. All I know is I just want the full art Guzma from the set because it's your boy. It's your boy Guzma. It's Guzma, your boy.
Wow, that's
that is sweet art, and I want it.
That is
it's the second most. It's the second most expensive card in the set, and it's very bothersome.
That's hilarious.
Because I want it.
Oh, that's all about I had for that.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot going on right now.
Yeah.
I haven't had time to watch much.
Me neither.
The new season of Voltron came out.
I thought there was is this like a second season?
No, this is season 3.
Season 3, okay.
It's only like 7 episodes, though, so it's kind of... But then again, it's a Netflix season where they just do whatever they want, like give you half of a show that's all out already.
Yeah.
Out of no reason whatsoever, just to do it.
So now it's like a pattern?
Yeah, I guess. Guess they can do whatever they want.
I suppose they can. That doesn't mean they should.
I mean, that's true.
Apparently, there's an anime out called New Game that's essentially about game developers.
Yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah.
My wife is interested in watching it.
Could be good. I don't know.
I've seen some image macros from it, and this one's probably the most accurate. I've shown this to several people, and it's very, very true.
It's complicated.
Do you like programming? I don't know. It's complicated. Well, anyway, speaking about computer bugs and other bugs and bugs and bugs and bugs and things.
There you go. Well, in this show, it's a feature.
It is, I think. I know there's a core dump or a core eater bug.
Yeah.
Is
that like a snake eater?
Yes, I think it is.
And we broke everything that was right. We both enjoyed a good fight. And we sold all the holes we had to breathe to make the other one leave. And I loved the way you looked at me. And
this season in Aniki, we've been going through basically one-shot episodes of things, OVAs and whatnot. And this week, we are doing the Mushi-shi special episode, which is not the OVA, it's the other thing that's in the middle of season 2.
Yeah, it sort of slightly separates season 1 and season 2 into 2 parts.
Yes, and it itself is kind of a 2-parter, but it isn't on Crunchyroll, but it aired in 2 parts.
Oh, did it?
I think so, yeah.
I don't think so. I bet it was just a TV special where it was just 1 hour instead of the usual 30-minute.
Well, maybe they split the hour up. I don't know.
I mean,
but yeah. The listings say that it's episodes 1 and 2 of the special Path of Thorns.
Oh, yeah, see, it was probably in one night, but 2 halves.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
So, warning, spoilers ahead.
For this one episode, as we've already mentioned about Mushi-shi.
Spoilers for Mushi-shi as a whole. They're Mushis, and they're weird. Yo.
Well, I mean, they give you that spoiler at the start of every episode.
That they're weird, yo?
That they're weird. Mushi are weird, yo?
Indeed.
Well, it is nice that we get the actual op song. Because the op song of Mushi-shi is really, really good. So both of them are.
Is that the actual op song, or is that the op for the whole season, or just this episode?
Yeah. No, it's the op for the season, is Shiver. The Sorefoot song was the one for the original, which is another really good song. Both of which are in English.
They are in English. Apparently, the singer for this is a folk singer from England.
Yep.
Who's like an actual artist, not just some wannabe like you normally get.
It's nice. Have you heard the other op?
I mean, I have, but I don't remember it.
Oh, well, now come on.
I will go find it. Mushi-shi op.
It's a Sorefoot song.
The Sorefoot song. Oh, yeah, I remember this. It's calming.
I know.
It soothes like the soul, much like Mushi's.
Well, some do. Some soothe the soul quite a bit.
Some devour it.
Well, I mean, that's a form of soothing, right?
Yes. Depends who you ask.
Okay, that's enough of that great music, because it's really good. We start off like we did last week, right? Where they, with somebody telling you what mushi are, because it's important. It's kind of like how in Akagi, they tell you, that both people are going to
bet their own destruction.
Bet their own destruction. It's very important that you understand that in Washizu no Mahjong, people bet their own destruction.
Could you have Washizu no Mushi? Because you can't see most of them.
It's true. They are clear, like Washizu no tiles.
You never know what you're going to get.
That's true. Well, except that you do. Everyone knows what you're going to get.
Mushi'd?
No, because the tiles are clear.
So we open this episode on a very dark scene. Very dark and gloomy. With a very old man.
The Gigi.
Leading a very young boy who's also quite gloomy down the darkness. It's taking him to somewhere where he will be living from now on.
Yeah, because the little kid can't see Mushi, and he's gonna have to stay in this weird, creepy hut in the middle of a giant dark thing until he can see Mushi.
It seems kind of harsh, but apparently the old man's like, well, it's not my fault. If you have to blame anything, blame your family, your lineage, And the darkness.
And Mushi.
And
Generally, blame Mushi. Just do it. Just blame Mushi. If you ever have problems, just blame Mushi.
It's all their fault.
Yeah.
And there's a nice shot of this house that's just sort of sitting there in darkness.
Utter blackness. Yeah, no, it's creepy.
Yeah, there's no features around it at all. So I have no idea what this is. Like a big cave, I assume, maybe?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's your standard Airbnb.
I wouldn't doubt that. So then we cut away from that dark and gloomy scene to
the mountains.
A nice spring day where Ginko has come to ruin the perfectly good and tranquil peace of the woods and whoever lives in this nice house.
I mean, you gotta deal with the slow pans first, brother. I mean, come on.
Well,
this show is nothing if not slow pans. It's a lot like this first Star Trek movie.
There were a lot of... Well, were there a lot of slow pans, or was it a lot of just, hey, look at all the light effects we can do?
I mean, it was both. It was, hey, look, we have a budget to make these models look nice. Slow pan over model.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's like, yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. Oh, no, that's still the spaceship. Okay. Yeah, no, it looks like a really good spaceship this time. Yep. Still going, huh? Yeah. Still pretty.
So we get inside this house, finally.
It's not really a house. It's a fantasy Costco where all of his dreams will come true.
He's buying some sort of herbs that look like witches' fingers.
Yeah.
Not really sure what they are, but the medicine seller there also has things that look like starfish and herbs,
bay leaves,
and some sort of
general,
like mollusks.
Yeah, just mollusks. Now who's talking about Type Moon stuff again?
I don't know. Who is? Is it me?
I mean, yeah.
I don't remember mollusks.
Nasu's notorious for his descriptions of mollusks.
Is he?
Yeah.
That's news to me.
Really?
Yeah. Nasu mollusk. Why did this autocomplete?
Why does it autocomplete? Because of course it does. Everyone knows this. How have you missed the mollusk train? Toot toot.
Oh, I see. This is from the parts of the games that I did not play.
Yeah, they're from the naughty bits.
the
this
shoehorned
is an
naughty
infamous
bits.
part of Nasu's writing.
I'm ashamed. Nasu, why?
Because he's kind of a bad writer. He's good at ideas, bad at writing.
This is very true. Although, to his credit, he wrote these games and then was like, hey, business partner, are these going to sell? And he's like, maybe you should add some sex scenes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Are you sure? Yeah, you should.
Make your characters bang. Do it. Okay. I mean, it worked. Except for the descriptions of mollusks.
Yeah.
I can't believe you never knew that.
I did not
Learn
know
something
this
new every day, brother.
I didn't need to know this.
Well, I mean, it's an important part of otaku culture. Nasu's fascination with mollusks. Either way.
Yes, okay. All right.
Ginko is refilling his...
Tansu.
Tansu. See, there you go. The special vocab word we learned last week.
Yay.
We also learned that special vocab word for that funny Japanese mop, which I've already forgotten.
Oh, no, I forgot it too.
I see. That's what we have episode descriptions for. It's fine.
Yes, we can always go look those up again. So anyway, Ginko is having some small chat with the medicine seller. Is he like a senior medicine seller?
Well, I mean, I think he just supplies herbs. Again, he's like the fancy Costco. He's the wholesaler.
Ah. Well, Ginko mentions that he's going up into the mountains up yonder and he's going to check some stuff out. And the old dude's like, hey, you can't just go around doing that kind of stuff. This is within the jurisdiction of the Minai clan.
Big Ginko's nuts to that. I got a letter.
I was kind of hoping here that it's like, oh, a jurisdiction fight? Is this going to be like the FBI versus the local police? And is this going to turn into Die Hard?
Ooh.
Because I can see Ginko walking across a bunch of broken glass and shoving a guy off a building.
Up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
That makes this a good Christmas special.
See, there you go.
We solved it. Unfortunately, nothing like that happens.
No, he just gets out a letter from an actual recurring character.
Yes, a character that
this
recurs.
episode will... Yeah, this episode will trick you into thinking there's an overplot and recurring characters in this show. There's not, but this episode tricks you into thinking that that's the case.
Now, I would like to point out that as the old man is opening the letter, I really like the animation here.
Yeah.
Because it's so like low frame rate, but it's still like really fluid.
Oh yeah.
It's a very weird thing to see. Like, it's amazing that they pulled it off, but it's just so hard to comprehend how they did that.
Well, and then just his facial expression changes as he reads the letter.
Apparently, everybody knows the letter writer.
Yeah, this show's actually really good with having cartoony expressions when it wants to. It knows how to like use them for good effect.
Well, it's just really good at facial expressions in general.
Yeah, considering how simple the character designs are.
Well, given that it's not very, well, it is dialogue heavy, but it's not like exposition heavy. So it relies a lot on facial expressions, and it's very good at them. So Ginko goes out and tries to find a abandoned village.
Because that's what normal people do.
Yeah.
This is an everyday normal medicine seller.
Totally. Yep.
This is what a humble apothecary might do.
Yeah, there's someone up there might need some herbs.
Yeah.
You never know. There might be a squatter.
I don't know.
Chalk up new business. Anyway, he passes some guys in the field, and he's like, hey, do you know where the abandoned village is? And they're like, oh, I think it used to be up the way. Nobody lives there anymore, though, because the soil's gone to pot. So
yeah, soil's so bad, nothing grows. Nothing can grow anywhere because the soil is so bad.
Cut to all the plants
Verdant
growing
village.
everywhere. Growing out of the buildings.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole flowering sakura branch just growing out of a post. That's not normal.
Yeah, all the dead chopped lumber and wood and even the thatch-roofed houses are sprouting new growth.
Which is
kind of
weird.
Impossible. Yeah, that doesn't happen. Especially not this long after the fact. Maybe when you first cut it, they might try, but...
Well, and then we see someone walking by with sandals and carrying a big tansu, and I thought, wow, I didn't know Ginko wore sandals. And as it pans up from the back, we see some guy with black hair.
Well, that's
Wait
not Ginko.
a minute. That's not our lovable old white-haired apothecary.
Some other dude.
Who's apparently from the
respectful young brat. Minai clan.
Minai clan.
He goes like, hey, howdy, fellow. It sure is weird that all the dead plants are coming back to life, isn't it?
This guy's like, what are you doing here? This is our jurisdiction. Go away.
He's like, well, I just so happen to have a letter.
Well, what I like is that this guy's like, oh, wait a minute. White hair. You're that Ginko guy, aren't you?
You're that jerk that solves everyone's problems. How dare you?
I've heard about you from that old lady that hangs out at Tanyu's house.
Yeah.
You work for some other clan, which I guess is the clan that Tanyu's from.
Yeah, I think so.
Turns out. And this guy's like, whatever, you do you, amateur.
Yeah. Well, because Ginko is kind of known for having, and you see this in the series itself too, he has a tendency to have sympathy towards the Mushi because he views them as just trying to live their best life.
Yeah.
Where a lot of the other Mushi-shi around are just like, yeah, no, you just kill it with fire. They don't try to get along with the Mushi as well as like Ginko does.
It's
Ginko's just
more
like,
efficient
yeah,
that way.
Just let it do its thing over here instead of over there. Where most of the other Mushi are like, yeah, just take this and it'll murder it.
But I just love the fact that this guy's like, yeah, an amateur like you just get in my way.
Amateur like Ginko.
Like, yeah, amateur. Even
he
Ginko's like, you're the amateur, jerk face.
He solved that eclipse problem that one time.
He did. That's child's play. Anyone can do that.
Yeah.
In fact, a child did do that. Mostly.
Kind of did. Yeah. No, I know.
But yeah. Anyway, Ginko's like, hey, I've got this letter that says I can go wherever the hell I please. So deal with it.
Deal with it.
And then he puts on some shades, and then the theme to CSI Miami starts.
Yeah.
Or something.
There's explosions in the background, and he makes a pointed effort not to look at it.
Exactly.
Because cool guys never look at explosions.
They don't.
It's not allowed.
Well, this doesn't really go over well with the unnamed man who's like, well, whatever. Don't get in my way.
She shouldn't get involved. She needs to mind her own business.
So at least he knows who Tanyu is.
He finds her whims tedious, which is just such a Japanese way of putting something, isn't it?
It really is.
Not that that's annoying or anything, just that's...
Your whims are tedious.
They are tedious. I need to use that.
That's a good one. So anyway, we cut back to the creepy old house where a young boy and that old dude who guided him to the house are sitting and having a chat about what's going on.
They've lit some lamps in the pitch black house that's in the middle of pitch blackness, which is super creepy and no one would ever want to live in.
I wouldn't.
Nah, I kind of would. Be nice.
I mean, it'd be quiet
Calming.
at least. It would
Yeah,
be
see?
very calming. You would sink into a deep sleep. Well, anyway, the old man lays down some facts. This one time, there was this Mushi that showed up, and its main purpose was like to kill everything.
It tried to Ava the planet.
That's what it do. But the Minai clan was all like, you know what? Stupid Mushi, we're going to put you in your place. And the way they dealt with that was they sealed it inside a human being.
She probably should not do.
Some volunteer.
Turns out
It's a volunteer from some other, ramshackle clan. Who cares about them?
which we are now in servitude to.
But yeah,
Servitude. towards.
funny
There we go.
thing is that the guy that it got sealed in turned ink black.
Yep.
Funny
Couldn't move
that.
and was crumpled. Yep.
Where
Mm.
have I heard something like that before?
Me accidentally spoiling it last episode because I forgot they explained some of it.
Oh
in this
yeah, that's
episode.
right. Spoilers. Way to go.
Kind of, sort of, because I think this is an abbreviated. This explanation is here for people who did not see the episode where this was actually already discussed. Because I think that was in season 1.
It's also like a recap.
Yeah, this is like a recap because they don't go all into it.
Ah.
But yeah, they go into it enough to sort of understand how this works, and yeah, just enough.
Well, the old man is very concerned that, even though we've sealed it away, it might come back. So we better be ready. Even though it's been sealed away for however long. And I don't know I didn't see any evidence throughout this entire episode of that his fears being actually founded on anything.
Well, I don't think it's just necessarily that it would become unsealed, but also, Mushi are weird, yo. Another one could just show up, and then we would be screwed.
I suppose that
Because
is
we don't
true.
even know how he fixed the problem in the first place. We don't even know what that Mushi actually even is.
Man,
So,
if someone had actually
that's bad.
written that down.
Yeah, well, that's why that clan now writes everything down, turns out.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Always leave a note.
Yep.
But anyway, this boy's like, okay, well, that's cool and all, but I can't even see Mushi. So why am I here again?
My dad calls me useless because I'm so bad at seeing Mushi. What a terrible thing to tell your kid. Hey, you're useless.
It is pretty bad. But the old man gives him some encouragement. You'll be able to see them soon enough.
That's not encouragement. If anything, that's less encouraging.
And you'll see them after staying here, whether you like it or not.
See, that's more threats.
Cut to the bars on the windows.
Yeah, basically.
It's like, man, you are a stand-up grandfather there. Good job.
Well,
Although, to be fair...
apologizes later.
Well, it's not even to be fair, but I would like to point out that I really like the voices that they've chosen for the old guys in this episode.
カリブサ家に4代目の筆記者がお生まれになったそうな。我々が代々お仕えしてきた一族の末裔じゃ。
Both this dude and the Costco apothecary from before.
Yeah.
They have very gruff and wizened and very slowly paced voices that just sound old. I'm sure they actually grabbed some 90-year-old off the street. It's like, hey,
They don't have to hurry.
come read,
Also,
come
the
read
way
for this.
the way the show voice acts kids too is also really good because they actually do sound like children.
I'm sure they just grabbed some children and actually have them read lines because that's the smart thing to do.
See, I hope you cut this and just say, I hope they actually grab children because that's the smart thing to do.
I could. The old man mentions that, this isn't just a normal cave. This is actually the gateway of the Mushis. It actually has a special name. It's called the...
Gateway of the Mushis.
No, it's the Path of Thorns.
Ah, damn it.
Ding, 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 ding. We got the title. There it is. We found it. Hooray.
This connects the Mushi world to those of us who know more about the Mushi-shi world lore. The light vein to the surface world.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Does that have a special name?
Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's called the light vein.
Is it a
Come on,
Komyaku?
keep up. Is it? I don't know.
I don't know because they mentioned a Komyaku at some point, and I don't know.
Oh
what that
no,
is.
that's the like special Mushi liquid that bubbles up when the light vein's near the surface.
Ah. So
Don't drink
basically,
it. It
they're
does
like
weird stuff.
ley lines? Essentially?
Yeah, it's like a ley line.
Okay. That makes sense.
It's kind of like a life-giving ley line.
All right.
Mushi-shi lore stuff, world-building stuff that gets into from time to time. Like you say, the show is good at showing without telling. Or it tells you without telling you too much.
So our two Mushi-shis are walking through the forest. Sounds like the start of a joke.
Two Mushi-shi walk through the forest. One gets eaten by Mushi.
Typical.
Typical. The other one says, let me examine why this happened.
I need a specimen of one of those.
Funny you should say that.
Yeah, so they're walking through and there's more and more Mushis showing up. Like, I don't know where they're
Like
walking at this
weirdins.
point, but they're walking towards something, and the number of Mushis is growing steadily. And in fact, Ginko mentions that he hasn't seen like most of these, and then he sees this giant black centipede-ish thing just walking through the trees,
It's kind of a human centipede, yeah.
and he's like, "Whoa, what's that? I want to
Wait,
put that in a
it.
bottle."
Yeah, he's like, hey, I want a specimen.
And the dude's like, "Well, no one's stopping you, so just
Yeah,
I'm
I'm gonna do my job. You can go get a specimen if you want.
you can do whatever. I don't care." Also, I'd like to do a shout out to all the Bob Ross trees in the back.
I mean, they are happy.
Lots of Bob Ross trees.
I mean, the backgrounds in it, like we mentioned last time, the backgrounds are really good.
They are really good.
A lot of Mushi-shi is, hey, look at these great nature scenes that we do.
I mean, it is all about nature, so that makes
I mean,
sense.
yeah.
Well, then our two Mushi-shi stumble upon the path of thorns. Dun dun dun.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it looks like a giant shrubbery.
It is a giant shrubbery, and it's very, very creepy. And there's like a dozen Mushis out in front of it.
Yep.
And to be honest, I mean, in previous episodes that I've seen way more than a dozen Mushis, and no one's like, "Man, that thing's really weird. We should stay away from that."
Well, I think the difference is in some of the other episodes, there's swarms of one Mushi.
Ah.
And that's a little more normal than tons of different Mushi coming out of one spot. Because that's weird.
Do they normally not like to congregate
Well,
in and amongst species?
yeah, not unless there's something weird going on. If there's lots of different Mushi in one place, then something weird's going on.
Well, we do get a little scene here of Ginko being a little tsundere, I think. Because
Yeah, okay.
he's like, "Hey, so what are you doing now? Why are you going towards the weird haunted shrubbery?" And the dude's like, "Well, I'm going to go in and investigate." "Why? Are you afraid now? Is that what's going on?" He's like, "Pfft, I mean, who would choose to go in a place like that?" Sidelong glance.
Yeah, maybe.
It's tsundere-ish.
Now, is he tsundere towards this dude or tsundere towards the Mushi? Or tsundere towards the Path of Thorns?
I'd say towards the shrubbery.
See, that's where I'm at. Man, this is a very Adventure Zone episode. We're tsundere towards plants. We had a fantasy Costco.
It's true.
I'm sure I can find some more now that I'm looking for them.
I mean, go for it. So this guy's like, "Well, to me, it's like going home." It's like, "Oh, okay. Well, that's weird."
And probably sucks for you.
Yeah.
That's probably not good.
So I figure at this point, it's like, well, he's of the Minami clan, so maybe it's like a rite of passage for people of the Minami clan to spend a night.
Go live in the murder hut.
Yeah, go live in the weird hut down in the darkness and get whatever hutted.
Well, I think we have already seen that that's not necessarily the case, right? Because like not everybody has to do this. Just people who can't see Mushi.
Yeah.
You have to see Mushi. Gosh darn it!
So I guess this guy
If
at
you
one
can't,
point didn't.
we're gonna
so-
make you go see the Mushi.
And Gigo's like, "Huh, going home. That's unfortunate for you."
That can't be good. Your childhood must have not been right.
I do like this little shot of while he's contemplating that. The one dude is walking towards the shrubbery of doom, and he does not actually have a shadow where Ginko does.
Oh, does he? I didn't notice that. That's really well done, if true.
Yeah.
Let's see. Symbology.
Yay.
Oh, yeah, so he doesn't. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Yeah, I didn't notice that.
I'm not really sure what that symbolizes per se, other than he's just weird. But
Well, I mean, soulless.
yeah. Well, cut to the house, and many shots
Back
of,
to the murder.
of darkness.
Back to the murder shack.
Yeah.
And poor little boy stuck in the darkness.
Yeah. It's at this point that you sort of realize the only time this kid gets to see light is when his grandpa shows up with a candle. Otherwise, he's in pitch blackness forever.
He's like those people that had, what was it, tuberculosis, who got the great pleasure of living in Mammoth Cave.
Yeah. And all died.
Well, I mean, tuberculosis still sucks.
Yeah, and caves don't do much for you except
Yeah,
You
turns
know.
out.
just be dark. Now you die in the dark.
Isn't that nice? I mean, that's where democracy dies, to be fair.
In Mammoth Cave?
In darkness.
Oh.
Come on. Keep with it.
Well, this kid, obviously, he's basically being sensory deprived. And he's lost all track of time, and now he's starting to hallucinate things.
Is he? Is he?
That's a good question. Well, his grandpa
It's
says
an
he
excellent
is.
question. Yeah, well. His grandpa says a lot of things.
He does. He's like, there's a lot of stuff I can't see, but I can hear them chittering and crawling all over the place, and they're all staring at me with their crazy eyes. I can feel it at the back of my neck. Those are Mushi-shis, right?
He should really just attack the darkness.
I mean, does he have fireball? Or lightning
might.
bolt? Or magic missile?
Yeah, maybe he doesn't.
Does he have any
Maybe
of
he
those
can't
things?
attack the darkness.
Well, Grandpa's like, yeah, those are illusions of your mind. Those aren't actually Mushis.
Trust me, you'll know.
When you see Mushis, you'll probably know that those are Mushis.
They're weird, phosphorescent, weird things.
And he's like, well, don't worry. You'll see them pretty soon when what governs your reason vanishes from you.
Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all. I want that to happen to me.
Wait, what? Governs my reason?
He's saying this to like a 9-10-year-old boy.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I'm not really sure I'm describing it correctly. It's more like your soul.
Like your soul. Once you've lost your soul, you'll be fine. Fine.
Then everything will be okay. So,
Watch out for that.
he's like, yeah, but if I lose that, am I still alive? And Grandpa's
That's
like,
another good question.
that's a good question. I'll tell you later.
We'll table that question for now, and we'll just move on.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll give you something else to replace your soul. It'll be okay.
It'll be fine.
Don't worry about it.
Fine.
Yeah. Good grandpa. Grandpa of the year.
Yeah, he deserves a button.
The Minami clan is a great family to be a part of. Well, eventually the illusions that this kid was seeing, start vanishing, and he doesn't see them anymore.
But he also doesn't seem anything, ever.
Like, not even in his dreams.
He's that one multiverse from Futurama.
Oh, yeah. So he
Didn't see
basically
anything.
just becomes the darkness until one day he's just gone.
His grandpa shows up, and he's just kind of, I guess, brain dead.
Yeah,
He's kind of naturally brain dead.
I think so. I think he's been completely
He's
broken.
alive. He's alive, just not.
His body is
Not really
alive,
with
but
it.
he's unblinking, and
I think we're back to this weird cat soup thing again.
I think we are.
I think we're back in cat soup territory.
So Jizo has come and stolen his soul away, but unfortunately he doesn't have any cat siblings to go retrieve it for him.
He just has this grandfather who's very, very sad at what he's had to do.
Not very good at stuff. He's good at making soup. He is good at making
Well.
soup.
Well, that's not really soup. Oh yeah, he is good at making soup. Oh no, this is bad. These bad connections.
Well, here comes Grandpa. And Grandpa opens the door and finds his grandson like this. And he sort of, I guess he feels remorse now,
Well, I mean, I think he did the whole time. It's just it had to be done.
I guess. Well, anyway, he makes some soup.
Well, he doesn't make some soup. He uses some of the special liquid that wells up from the light vein.
Is that komyaku?
Well, the komyaku is the light vein. I guess this is koki, I think is its name.
Koki? Not keiki?
Koki. No, not keiki. Who's from K, by the way. In case you didn't catch on to the naming convention in 12 Kingdoms.
So he puts some koki in a little dish on top of a candle, and candle heats it up, and the soothing vapors, I assume it's Vick's Vapo-rub.
I mean, it could be.
The soothing
I mean, we could
vapors
try this.
Go through the room and...
Okay, so right down the road from my house, there's an urban float, and they're one of those sensory deprivation tank places.
Uh-huh.
So we'll just put somebody in there until they're total vegetable, and then we'll melt some Vicks Vapo-rub and see what happens.
I assume the same reaction.
It'll be this. Yeah, I mean, I do too. We should test it.
Well, regardless, it does open his sinuses.
Yeah, it does, and he comes back alive, sort of.
Well, he can see Mushi's, so he must be alive.
He can. Everything's fine now. He can see
Hooray!
Mushi. Mission accomplished.
And he's like, what is this smell? It's like camphor and Vaseline. What is it?
Yeah.
It's sweet.
Vicks Vapo-rub. Remember, kids, if you ever lose your soul, Vicks Vapo-rub fixes everything.
And Grandpa's like, oh, good. You've come too. And he's like, yeah. I guess. I know who you are at least, and I can see Mushi's. So, hooray.
Hooray for me and my life. I'm excited to be alive. Life is so filled with meaning.
That's basically how he is the rest of the show.
Yeah, poor guy.
I feel sorry for him.
Got soul sucked.
But he does get to see all these pretty things.
Yeah, you see all of them there Mushi.
There's a lot of them in the room.
Yeah, because the Path of Thorns, guess what? Got a bunch of Mushi.
It's infested.
There are some very pretty ones in here. I like the little like weird drop bell things.
I do too. I like those. They look like they belong in a cave.
Though the algae that have like sea algae that have hands, I'm not a big fan of.
Oh, you should beware of Mushis that have hands. Well, then we cut outside the house, and you actually see that it actually now is in a cave. So you sort of see what he sees. Like now, instead of just being in pitch darkness, you can see Mushis flying everywhere, and the light of the Mushi is lighting up the cavern.
Yeah, because they're all weird and weird.
That's what they do.
Just look up animals from the Precambrian era, and you got about what Mushi look like. Of course, I guess you could also, if we're doing this thought exercise, you could also just Google Mushi from Mushi-shi, and you could see what they look like.
Yeah, that would be
Come on.
quicker, I think.
Well, come on. Give me a break. Also easier to spell than Precambrian.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, see? Yeah, that's about right.
Well, anyway, we cut to a quick scene of the dude and Ginko going into the shrubbery. And then we cut over to Tanyu, our recurring character for the day. And it should be pointed out that Tanyu is in every single Mushi-shi OVA.
Well, I think it's because she's one of the more interesting characters that's developed, and the OVAs, I think they take place in the manga. I'm not positive. They take more liberties with them, so they need to have a little more structure than you normally do. So they use what few other additional characters exist, and Tanyu being one of the more interesting ones. It's a good transition too, because they use the transition of
his cigarette smoke and her
Ginko's
pipe
cigarette.
smoke.
Yeah.
But we cut to sometime in the not so distant past, where Tanyu is basically giving Ginko his writ of passage, essentially.
Yeah, to be like, hey, look.
Yeah, there's something weird going on with the Minai Mushi-shi. And some of them exhibit a certain lack of
Souls.
something. Souls. Fun. Happiness.
Human characteristics whatsoever.
Life. Yeah,
Human personality traits.
Yeah. So if you could, check that out, that'd probably be worth looking into. Probably. Well, apparently, Tanyu's housekeeper, Tama, is the same Tama Dono as the weird Mushi-shi from before was talking about. Which is a little weird.
Why?
I thought she was just a housekeeper, but apparently she's...
Well, I mean, she's kind of a...
She's a Dono,
maidservant.
for one.
Well, she's like a maidservant. Well, and she's from the clan above him.
Yeah. Is she a Minai, or is she a...
No, she's part of she at least serves this clan, the Tanyu's clan, which the Minai now also kind of serve.
Is Tanyu the head of her own clan, I assume?
I think so.
Since she has the
Or
foot?
at least, well, she's got the creepy foot, so that puts her in pretty high space.
Would that make them the Foot Clan?
I mean, I suppose you could say that.
Well, I'm going
No
to...
Shredder.
Well, whatever. I'm sure there's some turtle Mushis somewhere.
I mean, that's pretty accurate.
But yeah, Tanyu's really worried about the Mushi-shis, as she's wont to do, I guess.
Well, yeah. Well, and she's a good friend with this Mushi-shi in particular. Captain Soulless here.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Soulless, the Great Wolf. Spoilers.
So Ginko's like, all right, I guess this is her pal and whatnot, so I guess I have to go into the weird, creepy shrubbery.
Into the woods?
Fine. So into the shrubbery he goes.
Yeah.
And at this point, we get an extended flashback of Tanyu meeting this weird kid named Kumada. Hey, wait a minute. I know that kid.
It's our boy, Guzma. Wait, no.
It is our boy Kamado.
Yeah. It's the Mushi-shi that has been helping Ginko and the one that was trapped in the hut. What?
Yeah,
As if
so
we didn't know
I had assumed up until this point that the hut thing was still down there and they were going to go rescue this kid or something.
Really? Oh, well, fair enough.
I didn't know. How am I supposed to know these things? They didn't actually give us the guy's name.
I mean, they didn't, but still.
But now we know. And it's only halfway through the episode.
Yeah, because the episode's really about this guy.
Yeah, it turns out that he was something of a childhood friend of Tanyu.
Well, because he was like higher up in their chief subservient clan. And she's the titular head of this clan, so I mean, they had to be good friends.
Well, he brings her some gifts. It's like, hey, look, I brought you some
gifts,
mollusks.
He means, I know, right?
And she's like, wow, I really like this pretty one. Do you mind if I keep it? He's like, yeah, I don't care. They mean nothing to me.
Help yourself. All of this is meaningless to me.
Turns out when you have that kind of outlook on life, it like sucks the color out of everything.
Yeah, it makes everyone be like, well, you're kind of lame to be around.
She's like, ooh, this pretty thing. Can I have this pretty thing? And he's like, yeah, I don't care. She's like, but
it's meaningless. Life is meaningless. Life is pain. I'm going to go post on Reddit. Our nihilism.
Optimistic nihilism. It's very important.
Nihilist for life.
That
nihilism is my reason to live. Either way, Tanyu asks her grandma / chief servant / whatever she is. You know, does this Mushi-shi like me? And she's like, well, like's a very strong word. He's had his soul, quote unquote, frozen.
Yes.
Oh well.
Or something. He had a harsh upbringing.
I mean, that's for sure. Trapped in a murder hut until he went catatonic.
Yes,
that's pretty harsh.
So could you like not think too badly of him? Because, you know, he's had a hard life.
I'm pretty sure he's a nobody or a heartless or some villain from
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. I can't be asked to keep him straight.
I could see that. Well, later on, Tanyu's like, all right, now I've sort of made it my mission to like get this guy to smile or something.
Feel.
Something where he like displays human traits.
You're asking a lot.
So she goes for the optimism route. And she's like, hey,
that was bad. That was your first mistake.
I've always been trapped in this castle, essentially, in this manor house. And, you know, all I can see are these hills that surround us. You've been
outside.
I've never been past those hills. You've been outside. Is the view from the top of those hills as beautiful as I imagine? He's like,
no, it's pretty normal.
No, everything's normal. There's nothing special anywhere.
I was on top of a mountain once. Was it pretty? Well, I could see a long way.
Yeah, it's just you can see farther than normal. I like the face that Tanyu makes, though. It's like this sudden comic face out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. Again, they cartoon every once in a while, and when they do, it's to really good effect. She's like, really? Who says that?
It's like, man, this has been really heavy, and then all of a sudden...
You know who he is?
Who is
he? This Mushi-shi. He's Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No, because...
Did you see that tweet somebody did where Neil deGrasse Tyson tweeted that, you know, when I close my eyes, I see the stars, and somebody was like, actually, when you close your eyes, you see the light filtering through your eyelids. It's very good.
That's a good one. I like that.
It's like you did it.
No, because this guy's not Neil deGrasse Tyson because he's not laughing at his own jokes.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, he's physically incapable of laughing, or at least emotionally incapable of laughing.
Well, she's like, well, I am going to go see what lies beyond those hills at some point.
Yeah, because basically, as soon as you tell any sort of teenagers, like, oh, no, everything's the same everywhere, they're like, well, I'll prove you wrong. I'll go hobble out there on my crippled foot and see. Really, it was the best motivational speech he could have given.
Yes, I think it was very unintentional.
Oh, 100%. But, you know, it worked. Look, are we results-oriented people?
That yes, she does make it to the top of that hill on her little crutch and her limp game foot. Turns out he wasn't wrong. It's just you can see farther.
Yeah, she kind of lives in a bad rocky field. It's a lot like the chalk flats, the hilly chalk areas of like Northern Ireland and stuff.
Yeah. Turns out though, I'm thinking if she like lives in a manor house, right? So like her family, I would think would need to be protected. They're in like the low ground and they're surrounded on all sides by high ground. Not maybe the best place to put your family's main house, but
Well, yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that if anything were to poke her, a Mushi would come out of it and eat the world. So I don't think they're too worried about it.
I guess that's fair.
Like, you can murder her if you want, but you're not going to be very happy about it.
Well, Solus comes up behind her and is like, I thought I might find you up here. I guess he was looking for her. So does that make him somewhat human if he was worried about his friend, maybe a little bit.
No, because I mean, he's pretty much just like pure logic, right?
Oh. And she's like, turns out you're right. It's just grass and rocks and stuff, and it's boring, and I hate it. And life is meaningless. Just,
Life is pain.
That's what you were saying.
Hashtag nihilist for life.
But then the sun comes up.
And this stirs something in her actual human soul. She's like, oh, that's really pretty. And his response is, yeah. That's nice. I'm glad you were here to share this moment with us.
I'm glad we've had this touching heart to heart.
This touching moment. Oh, this is...
It's very Leia and Han, though.
Yeah, it kind of is.
It's so
Only without
pretty.
the wittiness behind it.
I know.
But he doesn't say I know. It's just an affirmative. I will agree with you.
And it takes him a very pained moment to do it, too.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I guess. It's not even a yeah, I guess. It has less personality than that. It's just, yes. Yes, it is pretty. Hi. He just says hi.
Oh, just hi.
That's all he says. Just an affirmative, I heard you. It doesn't, you could read it in such a way where he's not even saying yes, just the acknowledgement that I heard the things you said. Which is another correct translation of hi. So.
Understood.
It's like, yeah. No, I understand the feelings you are having. Do you? Do you?
I have a feeling that's really what's going through his head is that computes.
Yeah, basically, right? This computes as pretty.
I computed that you said the word pretty.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I know that word.
I acknowledge you having said something.
So she actually like just gets him like cornered one day and is just like, Are you actually Kumato? Or are you just some other like robot that happened by?
Well, because I guess like she gets the feeling that he resets sometimes, and while there might be a sliver of emotional growth every once in a while, sometimes he'll just sort of like core dump and reset.
Yeah, but he's
Somebody turned him off and on again.
But he's like, yes, I am me.
I am me. That's not a very reassuring way to put that.
Oriwa Orada. Like, okay.
No, he does say desu.
Does he say desu?
He pronounces desu very nicely.
Well, that's the end of our flashback.
Yep. Back to
grass.
Now it's time to really get into the weeds.
Oh Lord.
It's
a shrubbery though.
Yeah, well.
And
it's just grasses here. Speaking of Neil deGrasse Tyson, work with me here.
My head is in my hands, and I am sad.
Good.
All right. So they walk into this cave, and the cave walls are covered in grass, which is odd for a cave.
Generally speaking.
And Ginko turns around, and he notices that the entrance to the thing is still there, which I guess is weird.
Yeah, I guess.
And this is where we first get the word komyaku. And the Kumato guy is like, yeah, that komyaku should not be here.
Yeah, it's not here.
I'm like, oh, all right. I don't know what that word means, but okay.
Yeah, well. It doesn't even really matter just so much as this shouldn't be here. Whatever that word means is fine, but whatever it is, this shouldn't be here.
And Ginko's like, this explains why that village up there is abandoned.
Yeah, because all them Mushi are around, and Mushi are weird, yo. And if you have an opening up into the like light vein in the world of the Mushi, a Mushi can just flow around all willy-nilly. The boundary between what's like normal everyday life and weird, crazy Mushi life gets a little fidgety.
He does mention that the village and the world up above has lost, quote, absolute death, unquote. I'm not sure what that means. Like, does that just mean that nothing can die up there? Or that maybe they become Mushis? Or what?
Or something, I guess. I mean, all the stuff that died is, like, pretending to be alive again, right?
Yeah.
All the, like, wooden beams of the houses are sprouting stuff.
I mean, the big takeaway here is that
life and death is confused, and that's bad.
Yeah, the balance is all off.
Yeah.
And if you're in an animalism Japan and the balance of nature is off, everything is about to go to pot real quick.
Yeah, they cannot be good.
Apparently the opening is widening as well.
Yeah.
Ginko's like,
which also cannot be good.
Yeah, I guess if that keeps up, then the balance between life and death will be destroyed forever. Well, this escalated quickly.
Yeah, that's generally seen as a bad thing.
First, it was just a hole in the ground underneath a bush, and now it's the end of the world.
Well, I'm not sure it's even under the bush. I think it is the bush. I think the bush is the hole.
Oh, like just a hole in reality or something?
Yeah, this is like weird Mushi stuff. Best not to worry about it too much.
Kumado's like, if that happens, I guess there'll be a calamity, won't there?
Yeah, and you know what comes out during calamities? That weird, crazy Mushi that what's-her-face has.
Yeah. Bish.
I need to learn about it, because that's my quest in life.
So I'm all about that thing showing up. Turns out.
Or not all about it, just like, kind of like how you sometimes just want to see.
See how bad it can get?
Yeah.
He goes like, hey, wait a minute. Why don't we just seal that off? If you think that the Mushi's actually like further down in this cave, which it may be, let's just seal that thing off, and then the Mushi won't appear, and everything will be fine. He's like, well, balls to that, because I've given away my soul and everything else for the sake of my clan for this dumb Mushi, so I'm gonna see it, dude.
Not as though I have anything to lose.
This is my life's meaning, my raison d'etre. So if I'm not gonna get to see this, I'm going to be very sad, he says in a soulless voice. And then the Mushis down the way start running, like they're running away and out towards the entrance, away from something.
Yeah. Not only that, but when they get further in, there's nothing. No Mushi, no nothing.
And Ginko's like, man, this guy's on like some sort of suicide mission. Does he want to die?
Does he want his soul to get like eaten or something? Because that's what's going to happen if he keeps doing this.
It's like, well, too late for that, dude.
Yeah. That's kind of an advantage to him right now.
Turns out he was delicious.
Yeah. Our whole horde.
Indeed.
But yeah, he continues down into the cave, and he can't find any more Mushi. But then there's something falling from the sky. Weird snow, weird Mushi. How about weird barely alive Mushi corpses?
Lots of those. Almost dead Mushis falling from the ceiling as like, and they're all bleached, like they're all white. There's no color in here.
Yeah.
So it's like coral.
But then there's some blackness that's darker than black.
There's a hand. It's a Mushi. That's a hand. Watch out for those.
Well, I think it's a swarm of Mushi, and the swarm of Mushi looks like a hand.
Oh.
And they're like, hey, look, a delicious soul down there. Let me have one.
I'm going to eat that.
So it grabs him. We go back to good old Ginko. He stumbles into the dead Mushi cave and is like, oh no, my good friend there is being attacked by a soul-sucking evil Mushi.
That can't be good.
That cannot be good. He'll lose his soul if that keeps up.
Well, joke's on the big hand sucky thing.
Yeah.
He's already been sucked dry.
Yeah, because Kamada's like, what you're looking for, I do not have.
Yep. I already gave that to you guys.
So he just kind of, he doesn't really banish it, but he kind of
shoos them
spits
away.
it away.
He's like, "Pff, away from me.
And they're like, okay, hey, look, a Ginko. Let me go eat that. And Kamada's like, oh, that's not good.
Oops.
Why'd you come down here?
I told you to run away.
So the big hand's like, oh, here I come.
Yum.
Yeah.
So it eats Ginko.
It does. Or at least it starts trying to eat Ginko.
And Ginko starts having visions.
Yeah. Weird memories of his later childhood after his eye got ate by the fish.
And his hair went white.
Yeah, I don't know if at this point in the show we know this is sort of backstory, but this is either a foreshadowing of his backstory or a flashback to things we already know. I don't remember. All you basically need to know is this like weird, he's having weird visionary memories of his past.
Yeah, where apparently he's a little kid and he sees a moon and it's weird.
Yeah, basically.
Or he sees the moon that already set, which is odd. Could be a Mushi.
Probably is.
What if the whole moon was a Mushi?
What if the whole moon was eclipsed by a Mushi? You get invisible daughters that way.
Yeah, that's a common occurrence.
Yeah, it happens. Along with people just climbing up to the highest point and disappearing.
Well, Kamado's having none of this. He's like, well, you came after me and that sucks, but I guess I've got no choice now. Let's try a thing. I'm gonna try a thing. I'm gonna pull out the old Vick's Vapo-rub.
Yeah. So he basically exhales his pseudo soul that turns into a giant white version of whatever this thing is, and then it eats it.
Or starts eating it, at least.
Yeah, no, it gets it down.
So the first thing looked like a 6-fingered hand, which harkens to it killing his father or something.
This looks like a sandworm.
Yeah, this thing has like four like pincer things.
Ah, see, here you go. Here's the purple worm. See, more adventure zone. We're good.
Well, as soon as it leaves him, he just sort of plops over.
Plops
because,
over,
You know,
yeah.
he doesn't have a soul or something.
He's soulless, yeah.
So he falls over, and we cut back to inside of Ginko's head, where the
Or
dark,
in his soul
a
space.
bad moon is rising.
But then he starts having a memory. This memory morphs into the one that Komada had of childhood Tanyu. There you go.
It's odd that they would have why he would be able to see that memory.
Well, I think it's because this is like an imprint on that on the soul. I think this is the one memory that Komada has that's sort of like humanizing and grounds him.
Ah, that makes sense.
It's his touchstone.
Oh.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh.
But she says it's pretty again.
Yep.
This time he doesn't say anything.
No. No, it whites out and Ginko wakes up to the giant white thing.
Holding hands and eating it.
To the Vick's Vapo-rub eating this horrible hand monster. Which, I mean, if you're going to wake up to anything, I guess that's a pretty good thing to wake up to.
I guess this would be a really good commercial if it were Vick's Vapo-rub, as this is it clearing up your sinuses.
Exactly.
Still that mucus? Just...
But Ginko rushes over to his friend.
Good question.
And he's like, oh, his soul left him. That can't be good. Oh, look, the big white mushi's done eating the black one. Oh, and there. Yep. Nope. Off it goes. Well, that can't be good either. There's a whole lot of not very good going on.
Well, he's only got two questions. One, did it save me? Which is odd. That seems to evoke like intelligence, which mushi don't typically have.
Yeah.
And then the other one is, what is that thing anyway? As it snakes away.
Weird.
I know what it looks like. It looks like a Gua'uld.
Oh, it does look like a Goa'uld.
It's got like the four pincer things, and it eats black stuff. I don't know.
Just like Goa'ulds do.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a more poignant question, which is I figured as soon as it ate the thing and whatever, it would go back into Kumato, but it just sort of flies away.
Just snaked away, yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm full. That was a good time coming.
But yeah, we cut back to Tanyu's house. Ginko having brought what's his nut back home, being a vegetable.
And Tama, the old lady, is like, hey, you did it good there. And I'll thank you formally later, but for right now, could you not be here? That'd be fantastic.
Could you skadoosh as we're going to do something weird and probably against the laws of God and nature? And Ginko's like, so, it seems like that Minai clan of yours does some pretty kinky stuff.
Do you happen to, like, know anything about artificial mushis made from koki and, like, inserted into human shells?
Yeah, know anything about that? I mean, that'd be silly if anybody were to do that.
Yeah, that'd be, like, terrible. Oh. And she's like, mind your own business.
Yeah, like, you know anything about, like, if one of them their soul mushis go away, you just, magic yourselves up a new one? Know anything about stuff like that?
Like, to your own relatives, even? And just... That's the thing you just keep doing over and over
that
and over and over and over again.
That would be a mean thing to do.
And she's like, sometimes people have to do what they have to do, so...
Shut up.
Deal with it.
Like, whatever you say.
She tries to make it all sound nice by saying some paths cannot be walked without doing such things. It's like, okay, well, you justify your crimes against humanity. That's cool.
Somebody's chaotic.
I thought you were just a humble housekeeper, but turns out you also put... mystical abominations into zombies, essentially.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Woo.
It's like, yeah, what do you call something that doesn't have a soul that keeps walking around among the living? What would you call that?
Someone who has a Vick's Vapo-rub problem.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, she kokies him up a new soul and he wakes up. Isn't that nice?
It is nice. I do like how easy it is to make these artificial mushis, though. You just need a jar of stuff and a heat source, I guess.
I mean, you need somebody with no soul in them that's still alive. And that's the harder trick, because you have to get one of those other mushi to come and eat him.
I mean, it seems pretty easy. You just throw him in a cave for a couple of years and see what happens, right?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah,
fine.
That's not a whole lot of work on your part.
Anyway, after Komato's woke back up, Ginko comes in and has a nice little chatty chat. Hey, thanks for eating that thing. If you hadn't done it, I would have lost my soul too. Like somebody else in this room that doesn't have a soul. That person's you.
No two people have a soul in this room.
He's like, well, don't thank me. just think the fact that I hate that Mushi that eats souls. It's like, yeah, I bet you do.
I mean, why would he like those things? He has a vendetta.
Yeah, maybe. Just a little one.
In walks Tanyu with her nasty foot fungus.
It's not foot fungus. It's some sort of weird Mushi thing.
Whatever. Call it what you want. She gives him a look. I think a little hopeful that maybe he's back to like being human. But
Or at least half normal.
after he bows and gets back up, his eyes are just as dead as they were before. And
Yeah.
her expression upon seeing that is pretty telling.
Well, I think she was hoping that with Ginko around, he would be, a little different than usual.
But it's just like this bleak hopelessness of,
well.
this is never going to get fixed, is it?
Nope. So we cut outside to the hill,
Where she makes some tea.
and Tanyu's making some tea under an umbrella.
Proper tea.
She's debriefing them. It's like, did you fix that Path of Thorns problem? He's like,
I
well,
put a patch on it. It's fine.
it's fine. We patched the bugs.
And they're like, well, it'll eventually heal itself, probably, as soon as the big swarm of Death Eaters is, satisfied. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, I mean, it just got so now that it's gone, the Mushi won't be fleeing it. So that hole that they punched through reality should,
Close up.
not do that anymore. Well, that's good. She's, hey, do you think the show will have a meta plot? And they're both like, probably not.
No. I mean, there's still Mushis around, I guess. So that's the thing. And Kumato's like, in the end, I have learned absolutely nothing about the forbidden Mushi. Other than
That
it's
was
in your foot.
pointless.
Yep, this was
it's in-
pointless hour.
Yeah, kind of. Other than it tells you a story. But to him, it was a pointless adventure.
Yep. That's what happens sometimes, though.
Yeah, it's life. Life sucks.
Life sucks, and then you die. Thanks, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, thank you. Either way, she's done stirring up her tea.
It's like, here, have some tea.
She's like, yeah, because I'm used to this weird foot thing, so it's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it.
Yeah, I'm fine having this thing my whole life. I've resigned myself to that, so don't worry about it. It's cool. I mean, I've had it this long. Whatever.
Even if our circumstances don't change, we're not alone. Except maybe you, because you don't have a soul.
As far as
Don't
I
worry
know,
about it.
you're the only one like that.
She hands him the tea, and she's like, how's the tea? And he's like, well, I mean, it's tea, I guess.
No, he's like, I don't know.
To be perfectly frank, I have no idea when things are enjoyable or unenjoyable.
I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
So Tanya's like, dude, it's delicious. It's really good.
Yeah, of course it's
I
good.
know
Don't worry about it.
I know I make ballin' bitch-ass tea.
And I realize you
I
don't
would
have a
pay money for her to
soul,
say that.
and you don't deal with that. But Ginko knows. Here, you try it.
Yeah, Ginko's like, don't be so resourceful. And he's like, yeah, besides, is this even good?
It's like,
No.
Depends on your definitions.
Yeah. I like how Tanya's like, your sense of taste is lacking. But she uses the word for poor in there, as in like destitute. So
Yes.
Ginko at least admits that it's a matter of personal preference, which, soulless guy can't have because he's not a person.
Sad.
And with that, we all laugh and pan up to the sky.
We've learned a valuable lesson today. And that lesson is
Mushi are weird, yo.
don't mess with Vick's Vapo-rub.
Also true.
It'll mess you up.
So,
Yes.
what was the best part?
Best,
What'd you like?
Best part. I liked all the different facial expressions. I thought the
Yeah,
first one we watched was more like plot driven. And
Yeah,
so like
this is
things were happening, but in this one it was all like very slow pans of things and faces.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very personal story, right? Because it's really just about like,
Kumato.
hey, in the world of Mushi-shi, this happens, and that's probably not good.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what happens.
Sucky things happen to good people.
Yeah, it's a very personal story. So,
What do you think was the best part?
a very human story. What was the best part? I don't know. More Tanyu. I like Tanyu.
You like Tanyu?
Yeah, she's cool. She's a cool character.
She does have funny faces sometimes.
She just wants a friend.
She's got a friend in you. And in Ginko,
No, she
I
doesn't.
guess.
Yeah, only in Ginko, really.
Pen pals.
Yeah.
What was your worst?
Worst. I mean, it doesn't really resolve anything.
No.
It's another story where it just tells a story. It doesn't even resolve anything, really.
Yeah, even the last word of the thing is a rising question of,
Yeah.
to which we get no response.
The episode, like a la Mushi-shi sometimes, I mean, it just asks a bunch of questions and doesn't really bother to answer them, which I think is perfectly acceptable. But I mean, that is something you just kind of have to deal with.
Yeah.
Either you like that sort of storytelling or you don't.
I think my worst was that this particular episode, and I realized that it was maybe split into two, maybe not, it was just really slow.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Of the two, I prefer the OVA more than this special because things were happening. And this one, you know, it's that pacing problem. If you're into that, it's great. And it worked for what it was doing, but for me personally, it was like, this is hard to get through.
Yeah. Do you want a show that takes its time or not? And like Mushi-shi definitely takes its time.
And especially with this one, because it's basically, I think they probably could have done this in maybe 40, maybe 35 minutes.
Maybe.
I don't think it needed to be 50, is what I'm saying.
I think if it had been a DVD special, I think it could have been just a weird length.
Yeah.
Like a BBC special, it could have just been whatever length it needed. But I mean, it had to fit like 2 TV slots. So
I wouldn't take anything plot related out, but there are a lot of pauses and whatnot where it really just takes its time setting up the mood.
Yeah, mood setting time stuff.
MVP?
And I think we all know who the MVP is.
Grandpa?
No, Vick's Vapo-rub.
Oh, yeah. It's always Vick's Vapo-rub.
Yeah, obviously.
It saved me many a time. And it also saved Ginko by eating a thing.
It did. Vick's Vapo-rub for MVP.
Hooray!
Yay!
So there we go. What are we going to watch next time, do you think?
I have no idea. I can't record for 2 weeks, so...
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, we're going to take a couple weeks off because John has to baseball, and then we both have to watch the eclipse. So...
Yep.
Oh, by the way, anybody watching the eclipse, make sure that it's the only eclipse you see that day.
Yeah, that's true. If you see a second one,
run.
Go find somebody with white hair and one green eye.
Or if you're feeling
one turquoise eye.
If you're feeling adventurous, wherever you are.
Oh, yeah, go find something that looks different.
Yeah, look for something different.
Yeah, and then just dig it up. And if a black ooze starts welling up, you know you've either solved the problem or you just struck it rich.
Yeah, one of the two.
Breakups sounds sad and depressing. Let's watch that.
Yeah, we can watch Breakups. I googled that and all I see is stuff about Chris Pratt. Not what I wanted.
Oh yeah, he did just break up.
Yeah, that'll work.
Sure, why not? I don't know anything about it. I just found it on like shorts on Crunchyroll.
So wait, you're saying we're finally going to watch something neither one of us have seen?
Yeah, it's just going to be something like I have no idea. This is just a thing.
Cool. All right then. Yeah, apparently next week we're going to watch Breakups, which none of us know anything about. Hooray!
Not a thing. So we'll find out.
Could
be good, could be bad.
It'll be hilarious either way.
I bet.
All right, see you guys in a couple weeks.
Bye forever.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you'd like to get in touch with us to leave comments or suggest future silly topics, you can contact us on Facebook or Twitter at Aniki Podcast. Or if you'd like to know more about the show and hear past episodes, check out our website at aniki.fm. See you next time on Aniki.